Hello and welcome back to SpeedyNet, where we are looking at this marvelous roundabout station which does not really see that much use, to be honest. I mean, look at the tracks over here, all covered in greens, overgrown in moss and whatnot. Not very good, not very good. However, there is a thing. I am trying to balance this, the whole engineering, supply, production and distribution thereof. And it's proving to be kind of a hard bugger really, because what I've found so far is that the smelter closest, which is this one, also hoards up all the engineering supplies, and it's proving to be quite a difficult thing to get that balanced out correctly. However, there is a solution by completely changing the method at which the engineering supplies are being brought to the stations. That is not going to change like, alright, we're gonna do it by boat. No, it's in the whole setup. See, there is a way where the engineering supplies do get distributed more evenly. I'm not saying 100% perfect evenly, but a lot closer, and that is by having the trains that deliver those supplies also have those pick them up. That's the only way I know how we can get those supplies distributed evenly. However, to do that we need the trains to, well, change their setup basically, and for that we need a depot. And guess what is not present over here? A depot. It also means that the nature of the traffic is going to change in this roundabout station, because there will be a lot more traffic from one station to the other. So that means that the whole, everything is going on single tracks right now, but in the future we need to lay it, the new layout with more space in between for the exit tracks and the connections to, well, the supply line, because right now there's like a supply lane, the outer one, and an exit lane, the inner one. That whole system needs to go basically, because the supply or the output lanes need direct access to the input lane of like the next station, which is not like for this station, this one. No, it is the one on the opposite side basically. So yeah, that requires some reworking of the whole setup, which we are going to do, because, well, I have been trying to balance it through numerous things, by trying to calculate length and what train quantities and whatnot. But it turns out to be quite a difficult thing to manage, because for some reason it just always seems to end up at the one smelter, yeah, this one, yeah, always at this smelter. So it's the only method that I could think of that would guarantee to work. However, this needs a whole makeover. We're gonna do that right now. So yeah, let's do some building of this still pretty young and freshly built station. Well, I guess that just is what it is. So yeah, time to rework it, alright? this is interesting. All of a sudden we get this new engine, which is a steam tram engine, but it pops up as if it were to be a train. Yeah, look, a new railway locomotive, yet it is a tram engine on steam. It is weak, it is cheap, and it doesn't go fast. How about no? Alright, moving on. Alrighty, well I think, maybe a few things forgotten, but I think that we have the majority of this update done. It did got a little bit bigger, it did got a little bit more complex, but I do think that right now we have a decent setup with enough depots so that we can even distribute the loads between the depots a little bit. That is going to mean that the trains will not have a shared schedule because they'll have to go to different depots, and you can't just join link depots up. At least I don't even know that. Let's try it out. If I were to place a depot here and then if I control click, which is the thing I use to join up stations, then it doesn't work. So that's a no-no. For the rest though, it seems that I have hooked up everything correctly. Perhaps a signal forgotten over here. You know, so, like I said, small details. Oh, actually, that one's not forgotten. That one should not be there. That is just so that we can have a train buffer over here, because there's quite some train track length. So we can have a train buffer if we need to wait for the one departing from the depot. And the other thing we need to do, because right now we just did a huge upgrade to our junction, or our station, and the junction area that we have with it. What we now need to do, of course, is completely redo all the trains and routes and everything that we had over here. And basically what it will come down to is that all the trains in the other category, they can all be gone, because those were the ones that we needed for hauling off the supplies. Well, we don't need those anymore, because that's all gonna be done by the metal trains. So, oh man, we have this huge station and then there's only a handful of trains using it. I mean, you know, that is not really how I had envisioned it when I started building it, but fine, you know, we'll deal with it. This is of course going to mean that we're gonna have a temporary slowdown in the supply, the engineering supplies for our smelter stations, but I guess we can work around that. It should go back up pretty quickly. I mean, there's like a 3-month buffer that you have, you know, because that's the period that it needs to receive those supplies. And since we're only at double production, that's easy to get. Now, these are all the metal trains, and you know what? I'll be working on redoing all the orders and whatnot. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, and that is all the trains done. Now, I did it whilst the game was paused, so this train still needs to go to the depot. But the way it is set up right now is like this, you know. Basically, when it has unloaded the engineering supplies, it gets refitted, then picks up the metal, then drops it off, and then picks up another batch of engineering supplies. So pretty simple, but this is the only way I've found that we can distribute those engineering supplies a little bit more evenly. That's not a 100% guarantee, but well. Who needs those, right? I also saw that I needed to change that signal into this, and it might be a bad idea to... well, the thing is, you know, we don't really need any more signals over here, because all that would do is cause traffic jams over here if the train has to wait like this, and nothing can pass any further, so... Right, well, this should, in theory, improve everything a little bit. We might have some transition hiccups in the engineering supply business, and, you know, it might be that the trains were at different points in their route, so, you know, we might have a mismatch of, train capacities and what they're trying to do and all that, but... you know, that will settle itself pretty quick. The other thing that we need to take a look at is the following. I believe it was the smelter over here. This one. This one has quite a few iron ore mines attached to it, and we only have 2 trains bringing supplies. Now, I need to kind of know whether or not that is good enough to at least supply all the mines within the 3-month period. Now, I believe that every month in this game is 30 days, and those 30 days, I believe every day has a certain amount of game ticks. And if we go over here towards the timetable, which is automated, smart me, we can see that this whole schedule that they have, and mind you, it is big, look at this, but that whole schedule takes, that takes 7,178 ticks, and let's say that it is 7,200 divided by 74 means that every 97 days, if it is running on schedule, it will receive goods from this train each stop. But if we divide that by 2, then that means that every 40 days or so, 45, well 48 actually, almost every 50 days those mines will receive goods. So that means that in theory what we need is a 3rd train here. We need to be under the 90 days mark, and we're at like 97 point a lot of decimals. Yeah, we need to add an extra one. Look at that. Look at how much later it is now. Is it broken down? No, but there is some delay, so that means that it's more like a 110 days or something. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clone this train, and we're just gonna add it towards the timetable. Yeah, it is automated. Nice. Right, so that should make sure that because we need like 2 drop, I think. How much can they carry? I believe it was 44, right? Capacities? No, it's just 40. A flat 40. And we need 84 for quadruple. Which, not always, but most of the time we should get, because there is a good chance, you know, that if everything goes according to plan, within the 3-month period, they will receive a, the 3rd load. So there's a good chance we will get most of this up to quadruple production. Unless I got my math wrong somewhere, and well, that is a slight possibility, of course. But we'll have to see. Another thing that I need to check on is how we're doing in terms of capacity of metal hauling. If I look over here, for example, I know we only have 1 train. We need another train. And how are you, by the way? I mean, we don't have this automated, do we? No, let's timetable everything though, so we know how long it takes. I mean, it doesn't matter because we have only 1 train. So there's, it's no harm in having this timetabled, but it's just so that we know what we need to deal with in terms of capacities and quantities of trains if we want to reach a certain amount. I don't think it's really needed to add an extra train just to up the frequency. I mean, with this one, I think if we just add length to the train. But the metal, on the other hand, that does need an extra train. However, this is, of course, over here. If we just clone said train, then this won't go well, because we need to change the orders a little bit. This is train depot 3, alright? That should be somewhere, yeah, you should be visiting this one. This is train depot, yeah, yep. Right, so I'll quickly change this, so it goes to depot 4, engineering supplies, and done. Did I? Oh yeah, of course. No, I thought for a moment this was the other train, that it was already running. But that is not the case. So there's no need to timetable those two. And the good thing is, you know, we also don't need to worry about arranging extra carrying off capacity, because for the engineering supplies, because that is all included in this very one train. And as an added bonus, we now get to see a lot more traffic on this roundabout, even though it's not really like, well, you know, new trains each and every time. I do quite like it. Right, so that's that iron smelter taken care of for now. Let's see this one over here. Wow, 313 tons of metal. Yeah, about that. Yeah, so I was thinking, that might be a little bit much. I mean, how much capacity do they have? Total cargo 160. That's like 2 full train loads. Yeah, and there is one coming, but that's clearly not enough, unless the other one is trailing it. No, not really. So we're gonna need a third train here, especially if the production starts picking up because of a more regular supply of engineering supplies. So we will add a third train, but the same problem arises. You know, I had to make these orders unshared, as you can see. So anyway, we're gonna clone it right here, right now. You put the orders. Let's see, because here's the thing, you know, when they arrive, they'll go to this train depot, which means that this section of the station, which means that they need the depots, which are like 3/4 round of the roundabout. So now we have both trains going here, but I think it would be most effective to have this third train going to this depot and take the inner lane. Which is what we will do, and that is train depot number 2. Yeah, you are set towards the other one, of course. Right. Delete and replace. Good. It isn't that hard, really. But that's already to show that the production is ramping up over here. Very, very nice, I might admit. I like that. Now, let's see. There is this smelter over here. Yeah, there isn't that much metal over here, actually, so there's no real need to add an extra train over here. Ooh! Ooh! This is the train from the new set, I believe, the Express Steam. This is a very good and fast train, and I believe I was about to replace that train. Right, so there's no metal lying around there, and I highly doubt that this one will have... Yeah, that does not have any excess of metal lying around there. Hell no. So... yeah, it was just 2 extra metal trains, but that, you know, that certainly is something that we will start to notice. Now, one of the very great things over here is that this apparently produces supplies on a one-on-one basis. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether or not that is true, because, well, you know, I mean, this should then mount up to the total amount of all these smelters, right? But that alone makes as much metal as this one makes supplies, and that is without having added those let's see, what was it? Yeah, this one, you know. So I'm not really confident on the number, but perhaps though, maybe what we should see though, yeah, look at that, see? There's only 108 crates, and that is because this one has just unloaded. Now, if that took the full load, which I assume it did, it should have 160 crates here. But I believe, well, maybe not actually, I don't know. If it says over here, it should say, I think, that if it receives both cargoes, it will then make it on a one-on-one basis. I'm not entirely sure on it, but having the slight suspicion, that perhaps this is a typo and it should say like 6 to 8 or 4 to 8 or something of the likes. So, well, anyway, we'll have to see. This will all soon start to pick up. So, with this done, before we left off, we were building our forest setup, I believe. Over here it was that we had this very big sawmill all set up, and wow, look look at the amount of timber. That's big. But before we continue on with this, because this definitely will get continued, what we are going to do is check out those new trains. So we will open up the train manager list and let us compare those locomotives, right? Because it just became available. Oh, and look at this, man. It looks mighty different, actually. Now you can also see, like, you know, this is like the first set, and then this one is just new, and it just starts at the bottom, really, you know. So yes, it is working. However, I believe this is the one that's really this is the one that's cheap and powerful. This is the one that's fast. And it is 128 kilometers fast. Which does mean that it is quicker than this one. However, whoa, look at this. This has a running cost that is huge. Power-wise, though, it has less power. Tractive effort is a lot less. So it is cheaper to buy, more expensive to run, and it has less power. Oh, and it is slower. I don't know, train, but no. It also has a rubbish reliability, but well, you know, you can't really expect much from that. Yeah, but you know what's interesting though? This and this one, in terms of reliability, is pretty much equal. It's just that one is a little bit more powerful and costs a little bit more to run. It's interesting. Should keep my mind on this, because this one, the Atlantic, I believe it was designed in 1900. This one was a lot earlier. You know, there's like some revision, and I believe, yeah, look at this. See, heavy 2. So this one's like a little bit older. Well, it's not really that old actually. It's you know, the design is like 7 years old, so the reliability won't go down. But this one, no, I don't think that will go up. Well, then, you know, they're relatively comparable anyway. Right, okay, so knowing that we will not use that new locomotive, we should check. Let me see, because it might have been a while since I last played, so I might need to refresh myself on where exactly we last finished with expanding our forest industries over here. Let me see. Let me first make this bigger. Right. Forest, sawmills, and no town names. Okay, so just so I know, you know, for points of reference where the iron ore mines and all that are, I believe that we still have this cluster to hook up, and anything else? Yeah, the whole cluster down over here, but there's a good chance that we might route all of that towards this one. Now there is another issue that we're having, and that is also with the farm supplies that we're going to need. See, here's the thing. There are two ways we can go about dealing with the farm supplies. I believe with the timber, now we get manufacturing supplies from the timber yard. Yeah, that changes things slightly. Alright, so in that case, the only option we have to get our farm supplies for these forests is by getting them from all the way over here. But as you can see, all the way over here It's a very, very, very long way from all the way over there, right? Yeah. I mean, sure, there are tracks leading into that direction, mind you. You know, this one, for example, but yeah, that's quite the distance. Are we better? Well, this is a very, very steady source of production of farm supplies, though. I mean, we could, in theory, we could try and do that. But that does mean, though, that we're gonna see a lot of traffic going down over here. Lots and lots of traffic, and that is just such a long distance, man. I'm not really a fan of that, to be honest, but... Ah well, you know what, we will first grab these forests over here, and then we will worry about the supply situation. Ooh, nice. Is it harvest season or something? I mean, look at all the wood that these lovely juicy forests are producing. Let me see, by the way, this is a better view. Oh, and look at this. See, I would totally have missed that one. So we have 4 forests to hook up. I mean, to build 3 stations for that, well, if we make like 1 station over here, central, like this. By the way, what do you make? Manufacturing supplies is what you need, and all you make is goods. Alright. I'm thinking we should go with the central station over here, and then also load some wood over here by transferring it. Something like that, I think would work. I can see that happening. Right, okay. Yeah, let's get that going, right? So, it's time to build some tracks. all of a sudden I get the feeling that I'm hooking up the wrong stuff. See, I was under the impression that we had our sawmill over here. Turns out it's over here. Turns out that the majority of the track going towards that location is right over here. Yeah, about that. Oops. All I needed really was a junction over here. Right, we'll remove these tracks and pretend nothing has ever happened. Right, that's a lot better. Oh, yeah, that was a big derp up on my end. Yeah, I know. I'm ashamed to admit it, but nature will restore itself in the terrain. Well, the terrain and this kind of shoe, we've been doing stuff over here, so we'll try and restore that as good as possible as well. Something like this, I believe it was, and yeah. Sorry town, sorry local authority, I don't think you'll like us that much for it, but no, well, it had to be done. Good, now that we are over here, having hooked up everything, I believe it is about time that we get those wood trains, because yeah, I was afraid this would happen. Let's get some wood trains, shall we? Wow. Right, now I don't think it's such a bad idea to clone this train and then have that be on a timetable. Actually, I don't think we need it timetabled, but we will have two trains just in case, because I don't think that one train will cut it over such a long distance. And there's wood enough to fill up those two trains at the same time. So you can go as well. There we go. Perfect. Right. So, however, we're not done there, because if I recall correctly, there was this one... Yep, there it is. This one very lonely forest that also needed some love and attention from the woodmeisters that we are. So, let's see, by the way. Do we have... Oh, we do not have enough capacity to hook this up. There we have enough. There we do not. Right, that means that we do need that third vehicle over here after all. So it's just surprising. And over here we're good, because the three of them will arrive and they will take any wood that's lying there. So yeah, look at that, see? And then the third one comes in to take the last bits. Yeah, right, that's good. Good, okay. Yeah, so that last forest, yeah, that's actually an easy one. We're just gonna link that up over here by road and be done with it. So let's quickly get that sorted, shall we? Right, and that's that one done as well. Now, I'm not really sure about this station, but so far it seems to be able to handle the amount of traffic fairly well, so I guess that's working alright. Over here though, ooh, look at that, now that is a very good site. No supplies waiting over here. However, I figured that the production would have increased by like a tenfold, if not more. But that seems not to be the case, which, I don't know, it could be classified as quite disturbing. However, the next thing that we need to do is over here, our wood production. Now if we get back up this map that we have, I do think that we're gonna go with the one sawmill, one source for everything kind of setup. And what I'm thinking of doing is, see, here's the thing. I think it would be best if we use the sawmill as a direct source for farm supplies. Not for this over here, this will take directly from the roundabout, but this over here will serve as like a distribution point for like all the forests over here. And if we go that route, we're also better off by using another sawmill over here. However, before we choose which one, we do need to take a look at... we have a look at this. I thought we also would have like pretty rough choice for timber yards, but it looks like we got a bajillion of them. And this one looks spacious, could do. It's a bit far off though. We could also go with this one over here. Oh, that's interesting actually. Very interesting, and we'll definitely have to figure out where we're gonna grab our next timber yard. But it won't really matter for the choice of sawmill, as they will always be far away if we pick one of the local sawmills over here. Which one, however, and how the tracks are going to be exactly, that is something that we're gonna find out next time when we play more OpenTTD.